Now, I think we could safely say that this started at a very young age. Oh, absolutely. When we look at these beautiful pictures of our late monarch, of course, alongside the very young indeed Prince George and his parents and His Majesty now the King, King Charles, maybe there was an affinity then with the mixing bowl. Let me explain. Hi, morning, nice to see you. Thank you as ever for joining me today on a lovely evening celebration, shall we say. Yes, well, not a celebration as such, I'm just working late. Everything's kicking off once again in the world of politics. You couldn't make this stuff up over here, but I'm sure, as I often say, it's the same in your part of the world. We had the Deputy Prime Minister and the Transport Minister basically hitting out against a company who've now decided to remove their business because of the way that they were spoken about in public. And these are the people leading us. Yes, frightening. Can you imagine it? We'd be better off running the country. I know. Yeah, well, yes, maybe we could. Well, not on a Wednesdays. I know you're busy Wednesdays, but you know what I'm saying. Pulling your leg, of course, but I think common sense. We've all got it, haven't we? Seemingly those in power don't have it anymore. That's the problem. Now, let's get back to your royal story of the day. I like this story because, as you know, recently we found out that the brilliant Prince George, who's definitely sort of emerging into the teenage moments, isn't he? You can see that, you know, still very much attached to his father, but a little bit at points embarrassed about being too close to mum. You know, it just happened, doesn't it? You know, but of course, what's fascinating is we found out that he's busy learning to fly at such a young age. I don't think that's a problem, though. I think you take things more in, don't you? I don't know if you'd agree, but if you were learning a keyboard like the piano or something like that, that's why it's good to start early, because your brain isn't fuddled with all the day-to-day life, is it? Well, we found out he's doing that, but now, according to a well-placed source, yes, Prince George is a massive fan of cooking and wouldn't mind being a chef first before he goes into royal duties. Now, let's just put this into perspective. Let's be blunt. He's at a very young age, he's trying all sorts of things, and he's found things that he enjoys. He wouldn't, of course, be the very first royal to enjoy the world of cooking. You know, the very nice and, of course, very successful Tom Parker Bowles has got a book out all about early royal dining. Fascinating read, let me tell you. And we know, of course, that James Middleton is a dab hand in the kitchen too. But back to Prince George. Well, apparently, according to this source, and I found this fascinating, in fact, because, as you know, people see opportunistic moments everywhere. We do know that the brilliant tennis player Roger Federer is also teaching Prince George the rudiments of tennis. Catherine, of course, his mum, is a huge fan of the world of tennis, so that makes perfect sense. But apparently the celebrity chefs have been given something of a wide berth, and as ever, I have to say, allegedly. The reason being is apparently George likes to come up with his own concoctions and find his own way in the married world, if you like, of kitchen cooking. So he goes down into the, you know, sort of royal kitchens and decides, well, I'll have a crack at that, or let's mix this with that and see what comes up. According to the source, Catherine's been very, very surprised at some of the concoctions that he's presented to her in the effort to make her well, of course, going through the problem that she had earlier this year with her own personal health. He means well, of course, as all sons do. But it's nice to know, isn't it, that he's basically saying, no, I don't need somebody to tell me what to do at this point. Let me just learn and see what I can come up with. And who knows? You just never know. He could end up becoming something of an entrepreneur on the side. I mean, let's be honest, the Duchy of Cornwall started small, and look where that is now. Oh yes, it looks like Meghan Markle's got a bit of a rival with the jam. I'll just leave that there. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.